So good morning, you guys. Welcome back to
Good
Couch
morning.
Conversations for our next
Yeah,
episode. And I just wanted to say that this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so
yes.
we're going to be diving into some really deep topics this month. So I just want to give a disclaimer. This could be a trigger for some people. We're going to be talking about some things that are really deep. Number one, we're going to be talking about functional depression and suicidal ideation. So a lot of people are not able to deal with talking about these subjects, and it can be a trigger. So my best advice is to probably not listen to this episode right now. Okay, so that is my disclaimer of it all. So today I have with me Miss Vernita and I have Anya, and I'm so proud to have y'all here. Miss Vernita, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the folks who you are, honey.
Good Lord. I'm Vernita Edwards, owner of Simply Made Customs, and I'm happy to be here. I do branding for all types of businesses and personal items as well. Thank you.
And Miss Anya, welcome back.
Yeah,
You done been here
yeah,
before, boo.
yeah, yeah,
Let people know who you are.
yeah, absolutely. My name is Anya Lovest. I'm a drug and alcohol counselor as well as a peer support through the state of California. I run a couple of not-for-profits, and my specialty is dealing with people with depression, suicide ideation, and then mental health as a whole.
Thank you. Anya, why did you think that you wanted to come back and talk on Couch Conversations about this subject?
Oh my gosh, because mental health is likely, in my opinion, the most important part of your life. When your mental
Mhm.
health is skewed, everything after that is skewed. Nothing is stable. When your mental health is stable, then you are able to make the best possible decisions you can make. So
Right,
being sound is like paramount.
right, right.
Doesn't
I
matter how
agree.
much money you have. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
what type of support you have. It doesn't matter your lineage, your gender. None of that matters. If your mental health is not stable, everything else is skewed.
I agree.
That's
You better say it. You better
Mhm.
totally say it. And I can't even see how people, and I know I couldn't function when my mental health was skewed. Even now when it goes up and down, in and out,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So Vernita, tell me, like, why did you want to be a part of this topic today? What brought you here?
Because mental health really matters. I deal with mental health issues. Can look at me and think that I don't, or I'm always got it together because I'm very high functioning.
Right.
Um, with depression, people don't know that I deal with it, and I think it's very important. Just like she said, if your mental health is not together, then nothing else is. And mental health really matters. And I'm glad we're talking about this topic because 20 years ago, it was taboo. Now,
Right.
today, everybody's talking about, mental health and how can we help people that are having these different mental health issues and things like that. And plus, I deal with this every day.
Right.
So, mhm.
Exactly. I really don't believe it go away. I think that we learn how to manage it. And
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
with that being said, when you talk about the word functional depression, what do you think that actually means? What does that look like?
It means that you're hiding, like you know how to go and do your day to day, like your job, dealing with your children. You could be crying when you get up in the morning about not being able to put food on the table, how I'm gonna get this bill paid, but you go to work and you leave it at the door, or you
Right.
go to a kid's function, or you deal with your children and be like, everything's okay. That's high functioning.
Right.
Yeah. It's a face.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
phase. And I guess that's why I named this episode Faces We Hide. Because, people look at me every day and think that I just have it together 100%. Girl, you a life coach. Girl, you a nurse. Good. I don't have it
Yeah.
together 100%,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes that's difficult too because I mean, there are people who's watching me. There are people who get their strength from me. But I'm human. I have my days just like anybody else. And I can remember there was a long time a period when I was going through I would call a functional depression.
Hmm.
And it's crazy because you get up every day, you take a bath, you brush your teeth, you go to work, you pay your bills, you
Right.
Hmm.
know, you take the kids to school, you are functioning. But
Yeah.
people don't even realize that on the inside, like you are dying, you
Hmm.
Yeah.
know. And why do you think people, why do you think people miss that?
People miss what's going on with us.
Hmm.
Oh, well, because they're into their own world.
Yeah.
They're into their own world. They don't know. We do a good people that are depressed and have other issues as well, not just depression, but we become very excellent hiders. We know what
Hmm.
other people expect of us, and then we put that facade on and we go about it. And people are going about their daily lives. They're not paying attention to us, and it's no fault of theirs because we figured them out. We are the one that have something to hide. So we're looking at
Hmm.
other people's character traits, busyness, behaviors, attitudes, and we adjust to that because we're literally trying to hide something. So we do a good job at that. That's why they miss it.
Yeah.
They have to know you exceptionally well, like how you know me.
Right.
You way in Ohio and something to be like, let me call her. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? There was a time where I called my sister and her voice sounds so different. And I was like, when I hung up the phone, I told my husband, I was like, and we lived in Santa Ana, and
Hmm.
she lived in Covina. And I said, let's go out there. I went out there, and her boyfriend was jumping on her. Right
Wow.
Hmm.
when we walked in, the door was ajar. And we walked in, and he was whooping her ass right there. And I was like, oh
Wow.
my God. And it immediately turned into what social media would say viral. As soon as I walked in, me and my husband, like it was, there was no time to prepare. We just jumped in. We just so I knew something because I know her well. And her
Hmm.
voice was like, hey, how you doing? I'm doing okay.
Hmm.
But I just something didn't seem right.
Yeah.
So somebody has to really know you well to know
Hmm.
that something is askew. But
Hmm.
day in and day out, we're good hiders.
Yeah. I agree with you because there's days that I've struggled, and I can remember when I first got married and I came to Ohio the first time. I was here for 10 months and I felt like I was dying. But on the outside, everybody thought that, like I was okay, and I'm like, y'all don't see me over here dying inside. And it's so crazy. So, Vernita, why do you think that people why do they do that? Why I'm over here dying. Somebody say, how are you doing? And they just be like, well, I'm fine. And just like Anya said, let me say this too, real quick. Just like Anya said, I think it's all about really knowing people and knowing your friends and knowing the people that you deal with on a regular basis. If they're really fine, even if they say they're fine. But why do you feel like people say that?
Why do people say that they're fine and not let people know that,
Mm-hmm.
they're really not doing well? It's because
Right.
they don't want everyone to know that they have failures too, that they are not always okay, because
Yeah.
there's a stigma behind that too.
Yeah.
If you really think that, if people know that you're depressed, it's like, oh, don't go over there because I don't want that to happen to me, or I
Mhm.
don't want their burdens on me, or I don't want to feel like I'm interfering with their life and trying to tell them what to do when they're not going to listen anyways. People
Mhm.
think that, like, why should I
Yeah.
help you come out of whatever funk you're in? You're not going to listen anyways. So
Yeah.
people sometimes, to me, are afraid to help the other person, but they also don't know what to do. Who's out
Ooh,
there
Well,
teaching
I
exactly
was just
what to
gonna
do?
say that. I was
Yeah,
yeah,
just
who,
gonna say that
yeah.
some people do not have the wheelhouse to manage
Hmm.
other people's emotions, even though it's not
Right.
our responsibility to manage someone else's emotion. But some people, like I'm an empath, I just learned from formal education how to manage myself. So
hmm,
hence why I'm in mental health. So,
Yeah.
you got an empath that's full blown into mental health. I mean, that's a recipe for a disaster, but I've learned
Hmm.
because I want to help people. Like
hmm.
I got help, I've learned through education and my own meditation and my higher source to manage and regulate my emotions so I can be there for other people.
Right.
Right. And I feel like sometimes you just need to sit and listen. Sometimes they don't need you to fix it for them or
Right.
tell
Exactly.
them how to fix it. Some, especially
Yeah.
with men. So I've learned this here recently. Um, men, sometimes when they vent, it sounds aggressive. They're trying to get out what they're trying to say, but most people will feel like, "Ooh, he's trying to go off on me," or da 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 da. When all they really need you to do is listen. So if people
Yeah.
learn how to listen to what people are saying and let them get it out, and then do your rebuttal or say, "Well, how can I help you with this?" or
Right.
what do you think would be a solution for this? And I found that that works because a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people. And I have this thing where I can tell if somebody's not right. I don't know them like personally like that. I'm not all in their business, but I call it a gift where I can tell if your body language is a certain way or how you're talking, if something's not right. And all I do is be like, "So what's going on?" And then
Right.
they'll just talk.
Yeah.
And once they start talking, then you can say, "Well, how can I help?" Or what do you think? What if you try this? And then
Yeah.
people are more apt to do that. And that's somebody that might be depressed. That's somebody that might be going through something at the moment where they just needed to get the information out. I think we need to start paying more attention
Yeah.
to what people are saying and let people talk and
Yeah.
then try to help that way. Maybe
Right.
there's a class for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And then
true. Yeah.
if I may add, if it's a partner or a loved one, family member, or what have you, or friend, rather than taking things personal, even though personal things might be stated, but
Mhm.
rather than taking it personal, suggest what my colleague just said is take a moment and say, how can I help you? But we're too busy defending what they just said.
Right.
And that's where things
That's yeah.
get all off track. And particularly, like she said, with men obviously have way less words than use less words than we do. So the words that they have in their vernacular, they are going to use those words to express themselves. Whereas women, we have a plethora. I mean, we have so many words, and so we're able to articulate even in
Yeah.
anger how we feel and make it clear. But women, we take it so personal when a man is saying something because we expect their brains to process information like ours, and that's not
Yes.
accurate.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
There's so many men walking around here depressed, high functioning, like they're working out because that's what they do
Right,
to ease their brain. They're going to work. They're
right,
expected to do X, Y, and Z. They
They
can't be
can't be
soft.
soft. Yeah.
If they're
right.
soft, then something's wrong with them because it was
Yeah.
told to me the
Exactly.
other day, this is why men don't express how they feel because us women take it as them being aggressive. So we as
Yeah,
women also need to learn how to listen and not judge.
right.
What that word say? Listen, we listen, but we don't
We don't
judge.
judge,
Exactly.
right? Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know what's
Exactly.
so crazy is that you find that a lot more in the men of color. Okay.
Yes.
I know, like say for with my husband, I'm learning him. We've been together 3 years and we've
Hmm.
been married almost 3 years. And even though I've been knowing him almost 40 years, it's like when on an intimate level, being married to him in the same home and everything, I had to relearn him.
Yeah.
And I had to learn when my husband is not functioning at his highest potential, and when he is in a funk or he is depressed. I used to talk just like you said. Us women, we just go to talking and Sometimes they just, they just want us to listen. So now I've learned, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Vernita, you've been a wife a long time. So, but me, I've been a wife several times and short times, but this time is totally different. And I'm really trying to, be present in my marriage 100%. So I know with my husband, now I know to sort of just, allow him his space because it comes off aggressive. It comes off aggressive. And so I used to get offended. And matter of fact, we just had a big fight about that. And I told him, I said, I don't want you talking to me like a child. He was like, what are you talking about? And so I understand exactly what you're saying when, about that, they come off aggressive or whatever. But I've learned, though, to just sort of kind of allow him his space and just listen and listen. It's
Yes.
different for us. 'Cause when we in
Right.
a funk, I pick up the phone and heartbeat. I'm gonna tell you, honey, I'll call her behind in the middle of the night. Sister, I need to talk.
Right. Yeah,
You
and we
know,
be ready too. We
yeah,
be ready. It's like
yes,
a superpower or the bat signal goes up. We be ready like what? What's up? What? I need a
Mm-hmm.
plane ticket. What I
right,
need? What I need you to
right,
do? Yeah, we need to fire up
right,
the car. What's up? What's up?
yeah,
Yeah, but that's how
Right.
women are. So mental health, I agree again with my colleague here. Mental health looks so different for all of us. And I know this is a lot of times it's not what's going on in our home. It's societal standards and what that expectation is. My belief, see, God created us, but the world molded us. So
Mm-hmm.
when the Bible tells us we need to die to self, we need to
yes,
die to what we were molded to be here on this earth. All these standards, all these rules, regulations, policy, procedures, all this stuff molded us. But
yes,
God
Right.
was the one that created us, and He's trying to get us back to the way it should have been, or at least get close to it. Hence, dying to self. So mental health has been an issue from day one. And that's what the Bible, not religion, but the spiritual teaching are the people in the medical field, be it as low as peer support like I am, all the way to psychology and sociology, and even drug and
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, if I may. It's about trying to help people obtain some balance. If you want to,
yes.
like, when my mom used to be on crack in the 80s. I remember asking her, God rest her soul now. I remember asking her, why? What are you doing? And she said, I like it. I go to
Mm-hmm.
work every day. I pay my bills. I have
Mm-hmm.
my own place. She said, I budget. I budget for it.
Oh,
And then,
Yeah.
yeah, she budgeted for her crack. And she did this for years until she finally found Jesus and got saved. But, people are hell bent on doing what they want to do until they cannot do it. But
Right.
understand that your mental health, until you get that stable, everything else is few. And
yeah,
people are
Right.
walking around here and you don't know. It's not my responsibility as a friend, as a girlfriend, a sister to Venus, to check in on her like she checks on me. But Jane Doe and John Doe at work, it's not my responsibility to keep my head on the swivel and see if they okay today. If
right.
I'm supervising them, they driving heavy equipment, they're doing stuff, carrying a gun, being a police officer. You got to check on people because what they do affect other people. But
Mm-hmm.
your responsibility as a human being is to show up wherever you are at 100%. And if your
Mm-hmm.
abs is not 100%, stay the fuck home.
That's
Stay
right.
That's
home.
right.
Leave
Yeah,
people alone because
right.
That's
now
right.
you got me, my head on the swivel. You got me concerned that you going out with a gun. You got me concerned that you operate this heavy equipment. You
Mm-hmm.
driving a school bus. Like, stay
Mm-hmm.
home.
Mm-hmm.
Go home.
Right,
Because now you
But
done
right.
drug everybody else in on your mess. And
but I
it's
gotta
not
play
our
devil's advocate to that.
responsibility.
What if they can't stay home? What if they gotta go to work because they
Exactly.
said, if I don't show up one more time, if I miss one more day, I'm gonna lose my job, then I can't take care of my kids and this
Mhm.
and that. I feel like each job should have something
There you
available
go.
to these workers.
Saying.
Hmm.
That's my job. That's
Hmm.
and I 100% agree with you. So if you're not gonna stay home, you need to get yourself some help. Talk to your HR because that's literally what I do.
Hmm.
I'm a wellness person, director, whatever you call me,
Right.
at businesses where I set up wellness plans for them and their employees.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
there's
so they can
stigma.
have
There's
somewhere to
stigma
go.
with that too. There's
Yes, but
stigma with
Exactly.
that too.
Exactly.
the ceiling has been cracked because you're right. But the
Mhm.
ceiling has been cracked, and more people, such as myself, are doing this
Right.
because businesses see. One of my newest clients is a convalescent home where the old men are verbally and physically accosting the female
Mhm.
nurses, and sometimes the male nurses. And
Yeah.
the female nurses are traumatized,
Right.
but they need to stay at work. You know,
Right.
so I'm meeting with the DON over there and trying to come up with a wellness plan for her, for the staff rather.
Yeah.
And I'm meeting with that individual employee to talk to her. But that stigma, it is a stigma, but it's being broken. The glass ceiling has been cracked on that, and people like myself are getting in these businesses to have an out for their employees. So thank you so much for bringing up and pulling the devil's advocate, because you're right. Some people leave home to get away from the mess.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. What
Well,
were you saying,
I'm glad
Vernita?
the glass has been broke. I'm so happy the glass has been broken. It needs to be broken more places. And then it
Yeah.
needs to be a comfortability thing for men. I'm
Yes.
advocating for the men right now
Go
because my
ahead,
son's
Yes,
girl.
going through some things,
yes,
but I'm just saying
yes.
because
No,
they
I
need to
agree.
know that they can feel comfortable going, like if I'm at work and I'm doing my job or whatever, but I'm having a hard time. I don't
Yeah.
like it here,
Yeah.
I want to be doing something else, but I got to pay my bills. I got kids to take care of. Who am I going to talk to
Mhm.
that I'm comfortable with?
Mhm.
That's not going to
Yes,
judge
yeah.
me
Let me tell
later
you,
when
when
I
I
walk through
work,
the door. Oh, that guy went down to
exactly.
see the mental health person because they must be losing
Yeah,
their mind. Now I got to watch
right,
them to make sure they're not going to come in here
right,
and boom, bang, 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 you
right,
know.
right.
Yeah.
So
So
we gotta
Exactly.
we gotta have spaces even outside of work, maybe men's groups or I know
Well,
some
would
here in
you?
Charlotte where they go out and it's a group of dads, they go out and they have dinner and then they can talk to each other that way. So I
yeah.
think there needs to be more
Exactly.
of that
It's got
and
to become the norm. It's got to
yeah.
Yeah.
become the norm.
Yeah.
Businesses
Mm,
need to put contact information on the website, um, put it through social media where you don't have to go through HR to obtain that information. When I was doing drug and alcohol for Cal Hope and doing peer support, um, there were more females that called in, but much to my surprise, there were a lot of men calling in
mm-hmm,
undercover. Men, I've had men call me sitting in their car in the garage. They can
mm-hmm.
hear the drama going on in the house, and they're calling me while they're sitting in the car saying, I need to prepare to go in here because I already know it's going to be some bullshit.
Wow.
In
Mm-hmm.
the car. In the car. I've had men, this one really shocked me. A young man that just got out of prison, did a couple of years, and his girlfriend did not believe in his dream to start up a food truck. And he's fresh out, and he's got this idea, got a little money saved, and she was bringing him down, and he was feeling some kind of way. I actually hooked him up with a friend of mine, actually a colleague that did 26 years in prison and now has a not-for-profit that's helping men and women exit out. And I
Mhm.
hooked them up together, and now he's not with his girlfriend anymore. Now his business is thriving, but she
Wow.
was
Love it.
dragging him down, and he was just really depressed and didn't know what he was going to do. He said, "I don't want to go back to that life," but she was there
Right.
with me when I was down. But now
Yeah.
she's not of any support. What do
Yeah.
I do? And
Yeah.
I told him, this is not my area of expertise, but I know somebody that can help you. And I hooked him up that night. That
Yeah.
Oh,
night they got
good.
hooked up. Yeah. So, You got to have, in school, they teach you to have your own library of resources, regardless of where you work at. And I've
Mm-hmm.
carried that resource book with me from the time I started in this field to now, and continue to add to it, because your company or your organization, most of them have a really nice, decent library of resources, but most of the time they don't want you taking with them. So you develop your own relationship, your own partnership, so you can refer anybody. I was on vacation and somebody asked me for some help. Not at work, I'm on vacation in a dolphin pool and being asked for some help.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I had to pull up my phone and give her some information, because her need was a higher caliber than I can manage myself, and referred
Mm-hmm.
her out.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to
Yeah.
have your library of resources and know who to connect people with, because everybody's not going to connect with anybody, as my
Right.
colleague has said. Yes.
So do you think that society has trained people to hide the pain? And that's the reason why, like you said with the men, do you think that they've been trained to hide it, not to tell?
Yeah.
Do you think that's the
You know,
reason why?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're told when you go to work, leave whatever you got going on, leave it at the door
yeah,
and come in here and
yeah,
perform. And
yeah,
that's
Right.
any job,
yeah,
that's anywhere you
yeah,
go, leave it at the
yeah,
door
hmm
and come in here and perform. So
yeah,
if you're even out in society, you still leaving it in your car
yeah,
before you go in
yeah,
to have a good time, because you got to
yeah,
put this face on like
yeah,
you still like, hey, I got it together. Although you was just in your car crying about whatever. Let me
hmm
wipe these tears, get this mascara on, and go in here and perform. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
So
Hmm.
what do you think? What do you think some of the common signs are of emotional distress? What would you be looking for? That you be going around looking for it? But
No,
what are some of the signs that you see in people with this functional depression?
their body language.
Hmm
I don't know. I can look in someone's face. Sometimes, you might be smiling, but if you look in the
Uh-huh.
eyes tell it all. The
Yeah.
body language tells it all. I,
Mm-hmm.
I see it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
Because,
think that?
where I
Mhm.
sit at work, I can see when people come in.
Uh-huh.
You might come in a certain way, and then you might see some clients or whatever, and then your whole face, the
Yeah.
way your walk is, it changes.
Yeah. I agree with you. I do. But
yeah,
I believe that there's some people who have actually perfected walking around in functional depression, where you can look
I
in
do
their
it every
eyes.
day.
uh, Come on, somebody. Okay?
Functioning.
Because there was a
I'm good
time.
at it.
Let me tell you
I'm very
something.
good
I'm,
at it.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you this. And Anya could probably attest to this too. There was a time I was married to this man, and on the outside we appeared to be so happy and having things together. However, I was broken. When I say broken inside, I was tore down on the inside, honey. I was. And
yes,
I wore it
yes.
so well. People
You
was not
did.
able to tell
I
that
was
I was
I
walking
was
around in
living
functional
in the
depression.
house. I was living in the house and didn't know. When I came home one day, I was like, "What's going on, sister?" And when she told me, I said, "What?" I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had no idea. None. I'm in the
yeah,
house, eating dinner, chit chat, going out. Had no
yeah.
idea. So we hide it well, and
Hmm.
particularly people of color, because there's already a stereotype about us. We can go back to the days of slavery, where we had to put
Yes.
on
Hmm.
a fake
Yes.
face, you know, a fake disposition to be like we okay, and including the Jewish people, if I may. They were getting slaughtered for any given reason, but
Yeah.
if you out there in the fields and you not in these camps rather, and you don't look healthy, they're going to put you in the smoke room. So they were
Yeah.
actually pricking their fingers to generate blood, to get blood, put it on their cheeks so their cheeks can look a little rosy, so their
Yeah.
lips can look, because they were so
Yeah.
emaciated,
Yeah.
that they were deprived the food and obviously vitamins and nutrients. So they have to figure out a way to put a smiling face on and look healthy when they look dead, just to not go to the chamber.
Right.
You know, so we have been faking this for years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's trickled down in our DNA. It's just habit, and it's unfortunate. And again, like my colleague said, it's a stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
There's a stigma to it, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me, not the stereotype, but it's a stigma.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming what I've noticed, and particularly in social media, to be
Mm-hmm.
drama, to be me too. I'm depressed too, and because you want people to feel sorry for you, want 15 minutes of fame or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be on the bandwagon too. People lying about being, raped and
Yeah.
depressed just to get attention. People are exaggerating.
Yeah.
Tom Arnold did that when Roseanne Barr came out about her childhood. Couldn't
Yeah.
find out he said he was too, but couldn't find out he
Yeah.
was a damn lie. None of
Yeah.
that stuff
Mm.
happened to him. So,
Wow.
if people want attention, and now you
Yeah.
don't know who to believe and what to believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's true. Whew, that's a sad shame. You know what's
Yeah.
so crazy? um, I know that this is not off the subject, but I was watching an interview with Ray J.
Mm,
Ah.
Did y'all watch that interview?
I
I
did not,
watched
but
part of it.
I
When
did
I
not, but
look at the faces we hide, the functional depression, I think about him. I looked at that
yeah.
interview and I was just very, very sad for him. You know, um, just you're right.
I say that about
Yeah.
what's the one that was married to Mariah Carey? What's his name?
No, he
Oh.
came out and said it. Oh, he came out and said it. He talked about it. He said it's one of the
Who
reasons
was
why he
Nick?
had a lot of children.
Yeah, Nick Cannon. When I
Yeah,
Yeah.
saw his interview and he was trying to defend, having all those kids and this and
yeah,
that. This was before he admitted. I
yeah,
knew then.
yeah,
I said, he got some problem. He got
Mm-hmm.
some problem.
yeah.
The way he tried, and I'm not opposed, just because you got 10, 11, 12 children does not mean you got mental health issues at all.
Mm-mm.
Back in the
No.
day,
Exactly,
that's what
exactly.
families had. But when
My
he went
husband got
into,
10.
there you go. When he went in on explaining why, I said, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
he's got some mental health issues.
yes.
He's definitely got some. And when he came out about it, I was like, yeah, everybody know, bro. You the emperor with no clothes on, okay? That's who you are, because everybody see you naked,
Right,
okay?
right. Right. You're right. And you know what? That just goes to show you, look, these are celebrities, right? These are celebrities. And let's just say this. This is our opinion about what we feel about, what we see about them. But of course, their lives are, it's out in the public. So we see these things every day. We're not judging or anything. It's just that this is an opinion that we have. Like when I said about Ray J,
Based on
that's my
observation,
opinion.
yeah, based on
Yeah.
observation and what we see,
Yes.
because
Yes.
we do not know what goes on
Yeah.
behind doors. But when
Exactly.
you are an empath or skilled, like again my colleague, you see it and you hear it, and for the most part, you have a base. People have a base, and when that base changes, you you see where it's going, and you can pick up on people's energy, because we all have it. It don't matter what my daily activities are day in and day out. My energy is going to show where I am mentally.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, we're gonna segue into something, and I just want to put a disclaimer out there once more, okay? Because this is about suicidal ideation, okay? So I
Mm-hmm.
want anybody who feel like they're gonna be triggered. Vernita, if you feel you're gonna be triggered, Anya, let me know, and we can end the interview. So if not, we'll go ahead and proceed, because Anya
Okay.
just said some things just now, um, which made me want to segue into this. When it comes to our men of color, especially, I am starting to see a rise of men of color who is actually taking their life. You know,
Yeah.
we spoke on Nick Cannon and Ray J. They out in the public acting a damn fool, but then you have some of these men who are saying nothing, and the next thing you know, they're gone. Say, for instance, the young man Twitch. He was in the public eye,
Yeah.
had everything going for a beautiful wife, beautiful children, home, career, all that, and then boom, gone. You know,
Right.
so this thing about suicidal ideation and suicide is deep. And when I say it's deep, it's all over social media right now. I wrote a book about it, Wake Up Tomorrow. And I was going to read something from it a little bit later before we close. But why is it important to understand that many people want to end their life?
Well, society, again, I'm going to go back to the society has molded us, even though God created us. And so the weight, and particularly men of color, the weight of this world is on them, unlike any other man, unlike the burden
Mm-hmm.
of the family, keeping the family together. Then you got out going out in the world and dealing with people. You got all these, people you answer to. You walk up on somebody and they immediately have the stereotype in their head. And you don't even have to say anything. The
Mm-hmm.
energy that someone brings to you, be it over the phone or be it in person, is a weight, is heavy. And so they don't feel like they have anyone to go to because, again, their ego and their pride is in the way. So they feel like they have no other option but to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, only reason why I'm saying is this. I have dealt with suicidal ideation for many, 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 many years. And I got to admit that every time I think about it, and I don't, it isn't that I want to end my life. I want the pain to stop. I
Right.
want
Yeah.
the heaviness to stop. A mental pain is so much worse than the physical pain. How do you rid of mental pain? How do you do that? How do you wake up and all this heaviness is there and you get rid of that?
It takes time. It doesn't go overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It, if I may, I'm going to tell you the solution to it. Now, whether you agree with it or not, or follow through, 100%. How do you get rid of it? You need a shift in your mindset.
Period.
Whatever we're looking at that's depressing us and making us stress out and making us want to kill ourselves, it is literally how you're looking at it. Literally, it's how you're perceiving it. You have to change your mind about what you're looking at. And let me give you an example. You got two families where a child was murdered, and you got
Mm-hmm.
one family that's embracing the murderer, that has forgiven him or her. Then you
Mm.
got another family that's ready to go in and kill the person that killed their child. Each one, there's nothing wrong with either of them. The difference is, however, the people that are embracing the person that murdered their child, it's not that they don't love their child. It's not that they're not unhappy. It's that another life is being taken. This person is going to prison likely or getting the death penalty for what they did. The way they're looking at it, hating
Mm-hmm.
another person and keeping that day in and day out and stressing yourself out literally is not going to fix that situation. So it's up to you to change your mindset. It's like my colleague said, it takes time to do that, but you have to first, and we're all in addiction, we all know what that is. You have to
Yeah.
admit it and take the first step. But that's the answer. Whether they
Yeah.
want to
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge it or take it or not, you got to wake up and be like, "Oh, this is some bullshit," but okay,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Changing the narrative.
I'm
That
not
is
gonna let
correct.
Right.
this stress. I'm not gonna let my kids stress me out. I'm
Right.
not gonna let this job. I'm not gonna let no man.
Right.
I'm not gonna let no child. I'm not gonna let anybody. It's literally a choice because somebody else is experiencing the same exact situation,
Yeah.
but they are not allowing it to stress them out. Yes, that person
Mm-hmm.
is different. Yes, you're different, but you too can partake of this non-stress energy as well. It's open. God's
Right.
best is available for us day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, I don't need to pray God's best for you because it's already available. My prayer is for you to recognize it and lean in. Problem is,
Right.
we're not leaning into it. So you want to be rid of it? Change your mind. It
Right.
doesn't
Right.
mean you're not mad about it. It doesn't mean that you don't appreciate it. It doesn't mean that. Of course, you don't appreciate it. Of course, you don't like this over there. Of course not. But it doesn't mean that you
Mm-hmm.
have to sit and marinate in it. It's like sitting at the front door waiting for the shoe to drop. Why are you doing that? Don't you got to use the bathroom? Don't you got to
Mm-hmm.
feed yourself? Don't you got to go take care of your husband? Why are you waiting at the front door? You just waiting at the front door so your life came to a standstill because you waiting for the shoe to drop at the door so you can open it up. It's coming whether you sit there or not.
Right.
Go
Right.
about your life.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Vernita?
I agree with my colleague there. The way that I got it, because I had suicidal ideations for years, but I changed the narrative. I changed my mindset, just like she said. I changed
Say
it
it.
instead
Say
of
it,
feeling
sis.
like, my world's about to end and I'm not
Right.
gonna be able to do X, Y, and Z. When I changed that, okay, this is where I am.
Mhm.
That's where I want to be. How am I going to get there and get out of this funk?
Yes.
Mhm.
And I
Yes.
changed my narrative. And
Mhm.
so I look at everything as a lesson, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So let's say, for instance, my pipes burst. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind here. I lost everything, blah, blah, blah. What am I going to do, right? Let me tell you what I did. I said, it could be worse. I could be dead. I could be X, Y, and Z. Can y'all see me? Because my computer's doing something weird.
Yeah.
Um, Okay. And so instead of being negative about things, I take everything as a positive on a positive. I flip it to positive. No matter what it is, whether I'm
Mhm.
Right.
feeling like really sad, because I actually wanted to end my life because I gained weight. I didn't know that I was this big, or I didn't
Mhm.
know. And I saw a picture of me and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm just done. Have all these health issues. I'm done. Right. But I had to think and change my mindset. You know, you
Yes.
know,
It's a
I
lesson
can
and
fix this, I
opportunity.
can fix that, I can fix this, but I
Mhm.
had to change. And so
Yeah.
once I've changed, everything else falls
Mhm.
into
Amen.
place. And so
Amen.
I'm like that with other people.
Mhm.
I try to give, if they're depressed or they're, talking about whatever, I spin it and put something positive on it. And how
Was you
can we
was,
make things better?
was you able to tell anybody this is what you was thinking?
After I went through my not talking, closed the door. I used to get depressed when I turned a different age. My birthday, because as a kid, my birthday was never celebrated. So when
Mhm.
my birthday came, I thought it was a time to close the door. And I literally, from the time my birthday came, would
Mhm.
close the door and I wouldn't talk to people. I wouldn't answer my phone until the next day. I was like, oh, it's over finally. Because
Wow.
I
What
didn't want
do
to be
you
recognized for things like
Mhm.
that.
Do you think that was your cue you was trying to give to people that you was losing hope?
I think it was my
Was you
cue,
giving
but
mhm.
everybody didn't pick up on it. If
Everybody
that
did
makes
not pick up
sense.
on it.
No, and
Why do you
as a
think not?
kid, when I tried to commit suicide,
Uh-huh.
nobody really picked up on it.
Why do you think?
Oh, because I wasn't a priority.
Wow. Wow.
And so think about, you think about
Wow.
people, they got deep. I didn't mean to do that.
You
But
get deep. And that's what we do over here.
But sometimes you like again, you don't know how different things will affect somebody, how it affects them later, how it affects them now. But if we're talking about suicide ideation, you got to change the narrative.
Yes.
Once
Yeah.
you do that and you
Yeah.
do that successfully, not saying that you're not going to ever be depressed
Mhm.
again or you might not think about it again, but you're not going to go and do it. Like you're not going to
Exactly.
do the plan. You're not going to
Yeah.
say I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to end this or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I think that we miss a lot of the signals because I think that people think that people who want to commit suicide, that is loud. and that there's
It is
there's
not
steps.
loud.
Okay, step one, I'm gonna get rid of everything. Step two, it is nothing like this. Actually, very subtle, and people miss it. Like people don't even realize that people who overwork themselves, that can be a signal, like
Mhm.
not saying that that's everybody, but people who overwork themselves, people who always trying to outdo or trying to prove themselves, and I can only just remember when I was a young girl, I was just over it. Now I did attempt suicide, and this is when I was a teenager and I was living with my mom in the projects, and
Mhm.
I wrote about it in this book, and I talked about how I just laid there and I was waiting to go, honey. I was waiting to go, and I got pissed off because I woke up the next day and I was sick, and I still had to go to school. But people missed it. And you're right. It was because I felt like I was not a priority. I was not
Right.
even seen. Like it was crazy,
And
and
it's
I
like,
wrote about that.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, even because when I did it, it was like the next day, it's like it didn't even happen. It didn't exist.
Right.
Put her in that tub of
Yes.
water, get her back together so she can
Yeah.
go out here and babysit these kids.
Right.
Wow. Oh my
Right.
goodness.
I mean, that's the reality of it,
So she
That
can
is
watch these
something.
kids.
put her back
That
together.
is a
She gonna
hot
be all
mess.
right.
That's a hot
Don't
mess.
even talk about it ever again.
Oh
It's
my
done.
goodness.
Um, so how are you with that now? Like, dealing with the suicidal ideation. And do you think, let me ask you this too, real quick. Do you
Mhm.
think that everybody has suicidal ideation? Or is it just people with these mental health disorders? I think
Oh,
to me,
everybody has it. Everybody has
yeah,
something traumatic
yeah,
that has happened. It's like, oh my God, my world is over.
right,
You know,
right,
I need to just get out of here and not be here anymore. Da, 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 da.
right,
Some people are looking for a reaction. Some
yeah,
people mean it.
yeah.
But
Some
who
people
are we to
mean it.
say whether that's the real one or that's not?
Yeah,
And then
right,
who's going to do
right,
something about it, or who knows how to handle it?
right.
That's why mental health is so important. We need to pay attention to our surroundings, our people around us, and get training,
Yeah,
because you don't have to be a peer educator, you don't have to be a psychologist, a
right,
social worker,
right,
or anything like that to be
right.
there for somebody that might be,
Right.
especially these kids,
Yeah.
these men. I think social media is making
Woo.
people
Social media, man. Yeah,
think life is just
yeah,
roses and
yes,
and all the
yeah.
dandelions. It's not.
It
Like
is
their
not.
lives is not real. It's
Yeah.
not real.
And I even try to be very careful with that as a life coach and one who is very present on social media. I don't want people thinking that my life is perfect. So when I
Yeah.
have my bad days, I tell people, listen, I'm not okay today. Because I don't never want people thinking that my life is just roses. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
why I really watch even when I post my husband, me and him, and I post him because I'm in love with him, right? And I want the world to know that I'm in love with him. But I don't want the world to think that, everything is just so perfect over here that we just over here walking on water. I have my days. I have my days. And my husband will say, like, when I was going into my depressions, when the first time I was here in Ohio, and he's
Yeah.
like, you'll be gone for days, meaning in my mind. He said it takes so much just to bring you back. So I really had to check myself on that. And like Anya said, you know, it's about your mindset. You really have to change that mindset. But there are some people who are unable to do that. I'll
Yeah.
be I'll be even thinking about the actor Robin Williams, that's his name,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
he thought this man funny, had money, had the life, the fame, everything. And he was walking around functionally depressed. It's
Hmm.
crazy. And with suicidal ideations, and where one day he finally was like, this is the day. And what's so crazy about it, there were no signs.
But
But
were they? There
yeah,
probably was.
Well,
it
there
Nobody
was.
was
probably
paying
was,
attention.
but right to his inner circle, yeah, it probably
Yeah,
Hmm.
was. So, ladies, I'm going to have to cut out. I apologize most sincerely.
That's
I'm
okay.
going to have to go. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to coming back another day. But again, this is the subject I wish I could stay on for the whole time. But you guys are doing a great job. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to chatting with you guys another time.
All
Okay, bye,
right.
Anya.
All right, you
Bye.
guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
So listen, this is a deep subject. It really is. And I know that you were even talking about some of your, some of your childhood trauma things that you wanted to speak on. Do you think that some of the things that you went through as a child played a part in your suicidal ideations?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I went
yeah,
through a lot.
yeah, yeah,
So, not going to touch on all the things, but
yeah,
it's a lot.
yeah, yeah,
So, I'm very high functioning.
yeah.
Um, People really don't know I'm depressed or that I even be depressed because I just got an award for I am just a ray of sunshine when I'm at work because that's what I am, because that's what I know how to do. I mean, I really am happy all the time, but I'm also sad all the time too, and
Yeah.
people don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Do I have suicidal ideations now? No, thank
Yeah.
God, no.
Yeah.
But have I in the past? Yes, a lot.
Hmm.
Have I? I've gone as far as taking pills, drinking bleach,
Hmm.
overdoing in alcohol, but I keep waking up. So God said I need to be here, so I need to
All
stop.
right. Yeah, I
So I
know.
don't do any of
Yeah.
that anymore.
Yeah.
Hmm?
We were talking about like how people really miss how really people really miss it because I'm telling you, when I was here in Ohio the last time, I remember, I'll never forget. I laid in that bed and I said, if I do not wake up tomorrow, it will be okay. Because
Hmm.
I was just, but everybody was like just missing it. It's like, y'all don't see me over here
Y'all don't see
messed
me
up.
over here just in this bed. Like, y'all can just let me lay here. But that's
Sure.
why you got to have your inner circle. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
an inner circle. I guess I need
Yeah.
to get one. But, but you got to have those friends that know you,
Hmm.
that will pick up the phone or that are in the same town that you're in and just be like, okay, I ain't heard from her in a
Yeah.
couple hours. And usually I talk to her like 3, 4 times a day, or we
Hmm.
texting. Let me
Yeah.
go over here and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And be that person to come and get you out the bed. Like, girl, what you doing? Like, what's really
Mhm.
going on? So I
Right.
think everybody needs that person.
Yeah.
Got to find that person. Well, I got to
Yeah.
find one 'cause I ain't got one.
Yeah.
But once you get one,
Me, you can always call me.
yeah, but what if I don't call you?
Yeah, exactly. You right. But see, it goes back to just what you were saying.
Yeah,
You can check on your people. But
check
check
on
on
your
your people.
people
What's Vernita not posted? I haven't seen any of her posts lately.
because she
You
don't
know,
post.
she ain't got no projects going on. Hey,
I
but
do.
I mean, but you know what is crazy though, for real though,
Hmm.
if I haven't heard, because I usually randomly text you about something crazy every now
Yeah,
and again, but if I haven't heard from you in a while, I'll be like, wait, hold on.
right. Vice
You know,
versa. Because I'll be like, you
yeah,
good? Or, hey,
yeah,
girl, I was thinking about you, stuff like that. I think people need those type of
exactly.
people in their lives so
Hmm.
that they can also hold them accountable or
Yeah,
just be there, be that listening ear. You might
yeah,
just need to vent, be like this
yeah,
MF and da 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 da
yeah,
da da da. All
yep.
right, and I feel good now.
Yep. Yep. Because I'm telling you, boy, especially when life. So our property that my daughter moved out of, and the property needs so much work. And so when she moved out, it sat empty for a little while. Somebody broke in, they stole the hot water tank and the furnace, girl.
Oh
And it's
my.
like, God, I don't what's going on? And I can remember like I'm thinking like, just over this. I'm just over this living thing. I'm so sick of it. It's like I'm a good person. Why do this? You find yourself there. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if you don't have your people that you can call and say, I'm not okay. I'm fucked up right now and I need some help.
Yeah.
If you don't have I can only imagine those people who do not have absolutely nobody, not a husband, not
Yeah.
a kid, not a friend, not a nobody. Can you imagine? I
Yeah,
just,
those are the
it's,
people you see out here on the streets
yeah,
wandering around because now they didn't went to something, some substance or something else to help,
yeah,
take them away, like Calgon, take me away.
yeah, yeah,
And so now they out here
mhm,
real mentally messed up
yeah,
because of the substance. It's a
yeah,
lot of people like that, or it's a
yeah,
lot of people out here shooting people. It's people out here
yes,
going to do things to people that they don't need to because they didn't
right,
lost it. They don't care,
right,
you know.
right.
So
So
yes, a
what
lot of
have you
that.
done different? What have you done differently just to make sure that you know, okay, you said that you are functionally depressed.
Hmm.
What are some of the things that you do to make sure that you keep your spirits up though on a day-to-day basis?
I walk, I work out, I clean,
Mhm,
I go and create something.
mhm,
Those are
mhm.
my things.
Yeah,
Working
because
out,
you
cleaning,
have
because cleaning relaxes me.
yeah, you have Vernita's. Well, you have Nita's creative. Oh,
Nope.
wait, because you
Simply
changed.
Made Customs.
Simply Made Customs. I keep forgetting. I don't know why I keep wanting to stay with your old name, but
No.
yes. So you. So what do you do with that? Simply Made
Um,
Customs.
I like to help small business owners with their merch. I
Mm-hmm.
like to take someone's um thoughts or whatever their plan is for their business or design, and I like to bring it to life. Like if you have a thought, I want to start this clothing brand and I'm thinking about doing X, Y, and Z. I listen
Mm-hmm.
and I don't judge, but I listen
Uh-huh.
and then I will go and create something based off of what their thoughts are. I love to do that. I love to work one on one with people in their events, their
Mm-hmm.
planning, to bring their creations to life, whether that's creating something with through a t-shirt, through clothing, through tumblers, cups, embroidery, sewing, whatever it is, even if it's painting,
Yeah.
I am very creative. I like to create and I like
Yeah.
to help people, no matter
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. And you said you feel like that definitely helps you with your depression.
Oh, it does. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
100%.
I love riding my motorcycle. That's one of the things that I love doing.
I'm scared of motorcycles.
I love my motorcycle. That's what I love doing. So when I cannot, and I have not really been, I have this year a little bit, but I haven't really been able to ride it like I want to because of the weather. And that's one of the things here too that trigger me is the weather when it's
Yes, that's why I
raining,
can't
when
live
it's
there.
cold. Yeah, 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 yeah. So our whole goal is to get me out of here as soon as possible because it's just
Uh-oh.
it's rough. It's rough, and
Yeah.
when you are dealing with depression, um, that you have to know your triggers,
Yes.
and the weather here is one of my triggers. It's just all winter long. Only thing I could do is go to work and come home. I'm
No,
like,
you
what
can
did
do
everybody
other
do?
things.
Yeah.
So here's a suggestion.
Mhm.
Go to one of the like not Dave, is it Dave and Buster's? I don't know what y'all got down there. Um, and get on the play motorcycle and pretend you got to take your mind somewhere
No,
else.
no, no, no. You wash your mouth out with soap.
You said what? No.
Do not tell nobody who ride motorcycles. Don't ever tell them that.
Or
No.
or go in the garage, get on your motorcycle
Starting up.
and put on a video, like and put on a game video like
Right.
you going through and
Right.
you in the
You,
summertime, take your mind somewhere else. Okay, there
yeah.
we go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now I haven't done that. Like this winter I did. I got on my motorcycle, started it up, let's turn the music on, and I'm sitting on it and yeah, and that took the edge off. But one of the things I've been doing lately, I'm really trying to get involved in the community. I'm starting this mentorship program is for girls 12 to 18. And I really want to really get into that. I don't want to see more women, more girls growing up and ending up in my predicament. You know,
Yeah, that's a passion of mine as well.
yes,
Um,
yes,
because as when we were back in young girls,
yeah,
young kids, there
yeah,
was no one or a place we could go that could teach you the life
yeah,
skills,
yeah,
what to look for, somebody to
yeah.
talk to about what's going on at home.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
I'll be happy to help you with that as well because I have so much in this head
Yeah,
that I have been through
yeah,
that could help the
yeah,
next person, the next young
mhm,
girl. And I also
yeah,
feel like one of the programs that you could offer in your program is
mhm,
teach them how to open a bank account, how to
yeah,
balance a checkbook, how
yes.
to
We actually have part of the
start
program is
credit.
financial literacy, so we're going
Yes.
to be teaching that. Yep,
Yes. And
we're going to be
and
teaching that.
what yes, and how to um take care of yourself.
Yep, we
Stay
have that life
clean. And
skills.
yes,
Yep,
life
we have
skills. What
that.
if you don't have pads? What do you do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where can you go and get X, Y, and Z?
Right.
What if you're
Yeah,
at home and your mom can't afford um, soap powder and things like
yeah,
that? How can you make your own?
yeah,
How to sew? Because those are things I taught myself
yeah.
as a kid. I used to sew up my sneakers. I used to sew everything.
Really?
Sew up my socks. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I had open-toed shoes.
Uh-huh.
I learned to sew them.
Yeah.
I had holes in my socks. I learned to sew them
Mm-hmm.
just by hand.
Yeah.
How can you take if you only got so many pair of jeans, how can you take those pair of jeans and make it seem like it's a different pair of jeans?
Right.
You can.
Yeah.
I've done it,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
that's
know.
crazy. Yeah. That girl, that brought back memories of when I was a kid. And when I say when I was a kid, I use that loosely because I don't remember having a childhood at all. And I
Yeah.
and the little childhood that I had, it was brief. It was brief. So I can remember, girl, like not having clothes, not having shoes, and
Yeah.
all that. I can't even remember. I didn't even get a bra. Well, I didn't have no boobs, I think, until I was a teenager. But I can remember not even having my first bra until I think I was maybe maybe 13. I'm not even sure because we wasn't taught that kind of stuff. We didn't understand that.
No, and I think it's because our parents came from a different era where it was taboo. It wasn't talked
You don't
about.
talk about that
Um,
stuff.
yeah, because
Hmm.
when I got my period, I thought I was dying. I
Yeah.
did not know. I was
Oh
10.
wow.
And when
Uh-huh.
I ran
Yeah.
downstairs to tell my
Uh-huh.
mother that I'm bleeding, I'm dying, girl, you just got your period. I was like, what? What is that? You know, and I
Yeah.
went to my auntie's for the day and okay, still nobody took the time.
Right.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. So now what does this mean?
Yeah.
You know, all
Yeah.
the things, all the
Yeah.
things. So
I can remember that too when I first got mine. That I wasn't even given a pad or anything. I was given they I think I was at
tissue,
my
get some
grandmother's. I
tissue.
had to get tissue and put down there, and that was crazy. I know we talking about all the way off the subject, but these are the crazy things that led us
Yeah,
into this functional depression and the
yeah.
suicidal ideation stuff.
Because
You know,
you still gotta show up to where you
you
need to
still got to
go,
show
whether
up.
you babysitting some kids, whether you cleaning the house, whether you pulling some weeds, whether you cutting some grass, whether you gotta wipe a baseboard
Right,
down, like
a
what? I could go on
baseboard.
and on.
Girl, oh my goodness. One of these days we are going to do a podcast on childhood trauma. But I got to be ready for that myself. Yeah, I'm pretty much over my past and
Yeah.
the things that I went through as a child. But just to speak of it, sometimes I get pissed because I'm like, well, just be damn.
But you know what? You can't be here's the thing. So I don't get pissed about it anymore
Mhm.
because had I not experienced some of the things that I experienced as a kid, I don't think that I would be as strong as I am today
Somebody. Exactly.
because sometimes you need those life experiences, not that they're all good, but here I go again, flipping it to a positive, right? So
Period.
sometimes you need those life experiences to help mold you into the woman that you become today. I'm
With
58, I think.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to be 58, something like that. Um, I'm a very strong woman.
Yeah.
I'm very strong. I can handle a lot of things.
Mm.
I flip when I need to flip. I'm calm when I need to be calm.
Hmm.
But these are also life lessons that I can teach the next generation. You can teach the next
Exactly.
generation
Exactly.
and spend it because if you didn't have it, you wouldn't have had a book. You wouldn't have your books
Right.
that you have,
That's right.
right?
That's
You
right.
wouldn't be the author that you are if you
That's
didn't have
right.
these
That's
experiences.
right.
So, yes, we're high functioning. We've had
Hmm.
suicidal ideations, but we came out of it. Now we
Yeah.
want to make sure more people can come out of it so they can
Yes.
be their true selves as well.
So give
Yeah.
me some give some words, some last minute words that
Oh
you
gosh.
would want for people to hear, just some takeaways.
Don't give up on yourself.
Hmm.
Hold yourself accountable for the things that you do that are not right. Once you hold yourself accountable to the whatever those things are, you can flip it and make it something positive because it's something that you've learned from.
That's right.
And also, just be there for other people.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just be
Yeah.
a listening ear. Let people vent. Be there just to listen.
Yes.
Sometimes you just got to listen.
Yes. And
I
I
don't
just
know.
want to say this too when it comes to suicidal ideation and people who are even considering harming themselves, reach out. And if you even tell one person, you can also call 988, which is it's a national number, and you can talk to somebody there too. I just want people to know that there's help out there. You don't have to walk around with all this on you. And I know, listen, I get it. And I get it because I was there. I know. And sometimes people are like, you just need to talk to somebody. Sometimes you are so broken,
That you
you
don't want to
know,
talk to somebody
that
or
you
you don't
don't
know
want
how to
to.
say, hey, I
Yeah.
have this going on,
Yes.
because you
Yeah.
don't trust everybody either.
Exactly. And and there's still that stigma. People
Hmm.
judging you and thinking that you crazy. I'm not crazy because I'm depressed. you know, that doesn't mean that you're
I just
crazy.
got a lot going on and I need
Yeah.
help and I don't
And let
know
me
how
tell
to
you
seek help.
something. The shit that we done been through as kids, the shit that we done been through as adults, there are some people who would have died from it. And there are people who did not make it. Okay.
Right. Hmm.
So that's the one thing that I always pat myself on the back about is that I woke up the next day. I woke up one more day,
Yeah,
one
you
more
made
day.
it. You
I
made it
mean,
out.
one more
Hmm.
day. And that's all you need to do. If you can get to tomorrow, you're good.
Hmm.
No. So that's the one thing that I want to leave with people that, leave with people. I want you to understand, I don't care who you call. You could pick up the phone and call a random number and say, I am in trouble. And you can
Yes.
worry about the embarrassment later.
Yeah.
Because listen, I can remember, honey, see her last time in Ohio, and I put something on social media about me not being okay or whatever, 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 or something. And I never forget, one of my relatives called me and was like, you need to take that down. You don't need to be telling people that you're not okay. I'm like, what? Really? So you're not
Hmm.
concerned with the fact that I'm not okay. I'm telling you I'm not okay. But what you concerned with is the fact that I have this on social media. That was
It's
me
what it
telling,
looks like.
okay? I'm trying to tell anybody that was listening, I'm not okay. I need help.
Right.
Send
Hmm.
help.
Send help. Send help. Call me. Let me vent
Yeah,
something.
I ain't okay. And so that's me. I don't have a problem with telling people I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not about to hide
Right.
it. I'm not about to fake it. I'm not doing
Mm-mm.
any of that. Yeah. Am I a high functioning, functional, depressed, depressant? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
overdo everything. I overachieve. That is just who I am. And listen, I was wondering, like, is this wrong for me to live this way? Maybe it is to somebody, I don't know. But this is how I function, okay? And
Mhm.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing when you do not express the fact that I am in trouble and I'm not okay. That's a bad thing. Okay.
Right.
But me working 100 million hours, having 100 million projects going on, and that's never going to change for me. That's
No.
my medicine,
It's when the projects go away, it's when your mind is going to be like, hold on,
Right.
something ain't right.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
stuff you need to keep functioning.
Yeah. Yeah. And have your therapist on deck, honey. Ain't nothing wrong with having a little therapy.
Mm-mm,
Ain't nothing
not at
wrong with having a
all.
little therapy. All right. So, Vernita, where can everybody find you? They want to be like, I need
Oh,
some t-shirts. I need some
oh,
mugs.
Simply Made Customs Creations on Instagram. And I think
Okay.
I'm on Facebook too. That's all. I don't have a website yet.
No worries, honey. You don't need one. No,
I
that
will at
business.
some point.
Well, let me know because I know somebody do one pagers and they're really nice. But all right,
Oh,
well, it was so nice having you here. Thank you for sitting down talking to me. And I'm hoping to see you again. I'm sure I will.
yeah.
We're gonna
Yes,
have
ma'am.
another conversation.
That'll work. That'll work.
All right, you guys. You guys, listen, like I said, reach out and talk to somebody. If you need help, don't keep trying to walk around carrying all this inside. It's just too heavy. If you don't have that one person, I don't care. Just like I said, I got on social media and told people I need help. Okay. So you all know where to find me. Venus Chandler on Facebook, Venus Chandler on TikTok, the real Venus K111 on
Mhm.
Instagram. And y'all can always call me at 330 That is my business phone number. And you can also reach out to me on my website, which is kteimpact.org. So I want you all to have the most amazing day. Have the most amazing day, Vernita. I will be chatting
Thank
with you
you.
a little later. And thanks
All
for
right.
stopping by the couch.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.